Even one word can tell us the answer. He, because this is about this person. Yeah, that's how I find the right answer. Many students ask me what can they do when their score is stuck in the Duolingo English test. I think if your target score is around 120, you don't need to learn more harder words. You just need better reading and listening accuracy and a clear structure for speaking and writing. So today I'm gonna show you how can we achieve over 120 with just the simple words. Let's get started. Okay, the first is read and select. We don't need to be perfect. If you are not sure, just choose no. Fill in the blanks. I think it's burdened. Yeah, but sometimes we don't need to do everything right, okay? So to more efficient light bulb, thereby increasing our saving. Yeah, submit. Get the meaning of the sentence quickly. Of the full moon, I think the brightness of the moon. Just get the meaning quickly and find the answer. The pilot skillfully navigated, ensuring a smooth, safe journey for everyone on the plane. Air what? He could see the bees swarming around their bees, and so it's about the bees, so we know it's hive, right? So sometimes we don't need to read the whole sentence, just get the meaning and find the answer from some keywords. I felt bad about the mistake and immediately offered a apology. What kind of apology? Sincere apology. The diary entries were a stark contrast to their typical process, right? Though it was only a rumor, it had been this so widely that this sentiments. Be sure that the document includes your name, header, right, of the document. Okay, mix the language skills.
He was very happy with the recommendation.
He was very happy with the recommendation. So the first time is important. Just try to memorize and write down as much as possible.
He was very happy with the recommendation.
Okay, he was very happy with the recommendation. Okay, last one to check it.
He was very happy with the recommendation.
Okay, submit.
He has written several criticisms of that play.
He has written some criticism I don't know of that play. Criticism.
He has written several criticisms of that play.
Criticisms. You see, we need to be careful about some S or some form.
He has written several criticisms of that play.
Several, not some, right? Several. So we need always to check to improve the accuracy. Okay, solar energy breakthroughs coming soon. Around the corner, these advances will be crucial to the main okay, just do the easier ones first. Main of the global climate. A switch to solar. We can always find the answers or some clues in the title. So solar energy should be a priority for all governments, state governments in the next 20 years. Just around the corner, these advances will be crucial to the main global climate. Maybe maintaining. It's okay if we don't know some answers.
We've ascertained the truth.
We've ascertained the truth.
We've ascertained the truth.
Okay, I think we can delete some words, right? Just delete some words. Just use some simple words.
We've ascertained the truth.
It's often a matter of opinion which part of a novel is the most interesting.
It's often what? Part of opinion which often a matter, right? A matter of opinion which part of something is interesting. Just try to remember as much as you can and type.
It's often a matter of opinion which part of a novel is the most interesting.
Which part of the novel is the most interesting, right? Okay, last one, just a check.
It's often a matter of opinion which part of a novel is the most interesting.
Okay, submit.
Engines add a great deal of weight to the vehicles they power.
Have what? A great what? Power. That's so quickly. Engines, right? Is it engines? Have.
Engines add a great deal of weight to the vehicles they power.
Had a great deal of weight to the vehicles they power. It's like that, right?
Engines add a great deal of weight to the vehicles they power.
Okay, I think it's correct. 3D printing is also known as desktop fabrication. It involves prototyping an object based on real world item is fed to the program. The laser the laser, I think it needs some powder, right? So it's melts the powders, fine powders, bit by bit to create multiple layers in a addition process, editing. In a okay, we don't need to be perfect, just choose any word here. Addition.
I expected green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs.
I expect green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs, right?
I expected green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs.
Okay, here we need to know details, very important, and the listening accuracy. I think it's expected, because I expect maybe it's not right in terms of grammar.
I expected green lawns and quiet streets in the suburbs.
Okay, so expected here, and lawns, streets, suburbs. All the details are important. That's how you reach your target score.
Contrary to our expectation, the teams were quite evenly matched.
Okay, so contrary to expectation, the teams were like something matched, right?
Contrary to our expectation, the teams were quite evenly matched.
Okay, so to our expectation, the teams were quite evenly.
Contrary to our expectation, the teams were quite evenly matched.
Okay, to make sure every word is right.
Their first day at work was successful.
Their first day work was successful.
Their first day at work was successful. Their first day at work was successful.
Okay.
You are a school teacher, aren't you?
You are a school teacher, aren't you?
You are a school teacher, aren't you?
Okay. Okay, so experts in high precision machine tools. Okay, our company founded, and since then we were becoming as renowned. Okay, we don't faint. We renowned as making, and machine, we can find answer here even we don't know the word, right? So you don't need harder vocabulary. Sometimes you find answers in the title or in the first sentence. Machine tools and as pioneers in technology, while our focus is still on machine tools, our product line has expanded to include a wider range of equipment and services for a variety of applications in recent years. Okay, so it's okay even we don't know some words in the real test. Okay, like this, renowned, we know it, but we just try. We don't answer it. Variety. Okay, submit. Interactive reading. Have you ever wondered how we can understand and create a complex sentence with ease? Too influential figures, these two people, the set of rules governing the structure, grammatical structure of sentence are renowned, which aims to understand how meaning is what from the structure, how meaning is derived from, inspired development grammar, to the natural language, to the what rules of logic, to the grammatical rules to logic. Sorry? Oh, no. This is grammatic on this one. To the natural, to the what rules, precise rules. This approach researchers to more allowed and somebody else. Meanwhile, okay, submit. Okay, so select the best sentence, complete the passage. So we just we need to read the sentence before the blank and after it. Meanwhile, linguists expanded our understanding when exploring the relationship between meaning, structure, and sound. Jack Indoff. So it's about this person. There are 4 major theories. It's the irrelevant theory. He, right? He. I think only he can. Only this word. Only one word. Actually, even one word can tell us the answer. He, because this is about this person. Yeah, that's how I find the right answer. What is the mental grammar that Jack and Doff describe? Mental grammar. So we needed to find the keyword. Okay, mental grammar. What is it? A set of unconscious rules that allows to effortlessly. Yeah, this here. Okay. What is the goal of formal sentiematics? We find the keywords. Okay. Formal sentiematics. You see, actually, in this kind of questions, you don't need to read the whole article. Just find the keyword. Formal, where is formal? Word. Semantics. Formal and syntax. Here. Formal semantics, which aims to understand, right? So the goal is aims to understand how meaning is derived from sentences. Yeah. It's a searching job, right? Okay, so here we find the two people. This one, Ray Jackendorf and Richard Montag. So this one looks right. This is not right, right? The field has a wider range of applications, including Chomsky. These two persons leading to the contribution involved. Just it can match the last sentence, so it's right. Select the best title. The role, no. The study. Introduction to linguistic analysis. Contribution to research. Syntax, right? So it's about the syntax. So this one. Okay, submit. Okay, active listening.
You and your friend are both first-year students and have recently learned about your college's study abroad opportunities for the coming years. The two of you sit down to discuss where you might want to study abroad and what factors you should consider when making a decision.
Okay, so first year, right? Actually, we can listen to the audio many times, but don't too many times. Don't waste too much time here. First year, right? First year. What information did you find? Find about studying abroad. Okay, we can check if you're not sure sometimes.
You and your friend are both first-year students and have recently learned about your college's study abroad opportunities for the coming years. The two of you sit down to discuss where you might want to study abroad and what factors you should consider when making a decision.
Talking about planning. Who are you? Friend, right? Friend. To a friend. To my friend. What's our planning talk about? We talk about where to go and
You and your friend are both first-year students and have recently learned about your college's study abroad opportunities for the coming years. The two of you sit down to discuss where you might want to study abroad and what factors you should consider when making a decision.
what where to go and the factors. The factors involved, maybe. Okay, we don't need to be perfect. Okay, just write some keywords here and move to the next section.
So, have you given any thought to studying abroad in the future?
Yeah, me too. Any problems? There's so many options though. Have you? So it's have you? Yeah, I always dreamed of traveling. Traveling? No, I'm not sure, but I want to travel. That's interesting. Have you ever considered? So yeah, have you? So the question is, have you considered? Yeah, there are so many options. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, I've dreamed of traveling. Oh.
I'm mostly focused on finding a strong academic program that aligns with my career goals. But I do want to improve my language skills too.
My speak a few language too. I totally get that. That's quite traveling across. Exactly. High school, and I would love to practice them. Are there any you're considering? My cousin studied Spain as a level. What destinations do you think would suit our personalities? But could really broaden. It's not about language, right? It's about place. So I think this one? Yes.
I've been looking into a few countries with strong business programs. However, the cost of studying abroad is another factor to consider.
Cost. That's a good point. Love, but I know it's very expensive. Yeah, it's about a cost. So just this one. Expensive.
It's definitely something to think about. Maybe we should make a list of our priorities and what we want to get out of our study abroad experience.
Priorities. Yeah. No. Hey, no way. Well, sure. For a bit. I thought about high school. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah. Culture, language, opportunity.
And once we've got a list, we can see if there's a destination that meets our preferences.
Yeah, I think that's a better approach. That sounds like a great learning opportunity. Maybe we should also attend the study abroad information session to get more advice. Don't worry. Yeah. Okay, so you can see we still have 2 minutes, so we need to go through the whole conversation and remember some information for the next section. It's about studying abroad, right? So, and we discussed some factors like language, cultural language, and financial. And we decided to attend a study abroad information session, get more advice. Okay. Okay. My friend and I talked about studying abroad. Okay, we need a structure. Second sentence. We discussed some factors involved, such as cultural aspects and language or opportunities and financial conditions. We decided to attend a study abroad information session to get more advice and guidance. Okay, so 3 sentences are enough. Just give a clear structure. It's more important than complex words. Okay. Writing. Okay. Just use a structure. Don't think too much. Depicts a tractor which is parking in front of a small house. It looks new and beautiful. In the background, there are some trees and mountains and grass and houses. Okay, so 3 sentences structure are important. It helps you to save your time for thinking. Architects and designers work hard to make home as functional as possible. Do you think there are design characteristics that houses should have? Provide example. Okay, so this kind of answer we need to give our opinion and explain and then give examples and give conclusion. Do you think there are design characteristics house should have? Okay. In my view, some design characteristics are very important for new houses and apartments. Okay, so this is the first sentence, and firstly, right? First of all, design should make people who live or work in the house feel very comfortable and maybe relaxed. Okay, so first of all, and the second, explain. We can explain and give examples. This is because people could feel tired or even get sick if the house is not comfortable enough. For example, in some poor condition, in some houses with poor conditions, people could have health problems, right? This is the example. And in addition, the second point, in addition, the safety of the houses and apartments should also be considered when designing them. In conclusion, just to give a clear structure, in conclusion, I think a good design for houses should consider the features such as comfort and safety. Okay, we don't need some harder words, just answer the question thoroughly and give a clear structure. How could flexibility in design make a house apartment more functional? How could flexibility? I think flexibility is very important. For modern houses, especially when the space is limited. Then we give example. For example, if some houses do not have enough space for all furniture and facilities, we can make some parts of the facilities flexible. Like transformers to save. Okay, we don't need words like that. To save space. Just like hiding some tables. In the wall and take them out when using them. Okay, that's it. Just answer the question. Okay, speaking. Okay, just use a clear structure. The photo shows a man who is sitting just by the street, and the man is wearing a formal shirt, and he is also wearing a tie and a long pants and leather shoes, and he is also holding his face with a hand, and he is looking at somewhere. Maybe he's thinking about something, like his plan for today. And we can see on the right of the man there's also another statue, and which is like a man who is working, and the statue looks very interesting. And in the background there's another man holding a pet and just sitting behind the first man. And I think this picture looks very interesting because all these characters show just different features. Describe a time when you were especially productive at work. What was the project or task you were working on? What did you do in order to stay focused and productive? What was the result of your productivity? The project task you were working on. Well, a time that I was especially productive at work was about just building a website to help my students to improve their Duolingo English tests, improve their score for a Duolingo English test. And what did I do in order to stay focused? I didn't do anything special. I just focused on my work, and I choose a very comfortable environment and use my laptop and just try to learn some knowledge and skills, and try to think about how can I just put my idea and my experience on the website. What was the result of your productivity? It took a few weeks or maybe months to build the first version of the website, and I think it's quite effective and useful for my students. So I think all my hard work just paid off. Prepare to have a conversation. Okay, this is like we have 35 seconds to answer with the structure. Opinion, reason, and example. Okay, just like that for most of the questions.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about your ideal place to live.
Describe something you like about where you live.
The place where I live is a big city. I like it because it's very convenient. For example, I can always take the sky train or subway to get anywhere I want to go.
Thanks. I have another question. Is it important to live close to your workplace or school, and why?
Well, in my opinion, I think it's very important to live close to the workplace because this can help me save a lot of time and energy for commuting. For example, I just live very close to my office, so it only takes me about 5 minutes to get there every morning. Okay, we don't need the complex words, just to give a clear structure.
Thanks. Let me ask you another question. How can the availability of social activities influence a person's decision on where to live?
Okay, so social ability can, I think, affect our decision about where to live. For example, we should consider if it's convenient to meet other friends or family. For example, at the apartment, the place of the location of apartment is very convenient for me to meet some people.
Thanks for discussing your ideal place to live with me. Now I'd like to change topics and ask you a few questions about elements of a fun social gathering. Describe your favorite food to have at an event.
My favorite food to have at events is some Western style food like French fries, because I think it's very convenient to eat and also delicious. For example, last time I went to a friend's birthday party and they offered some French fries, and I really enjoyed it.
Interesting. I've got a different question. How can the location influence the success of an event?
Well, I think the location is very important for the success of the event. This is because if the location is too far from the city center, maybe it's very difficult for all the people to attend. For example, if the location is just in the city center, everybody can get there easily with public transportation, like subways.
I see. I have another question. How can the timing of a social gathering affect its success?
Okay, timing is also a very important factor for the success of a social gathering. This is because if it's too late, maybe many people could feel tired to attend or stay at the event. For example, if if the party start at 10 p.m., maybe many people will feel too tired to go.
Thanks for discussing elements of a fun social gathering with me. Have a nice day.
Okay, last part, writing and speaking sample. Write about the last time you made a choice or decision. How did you make the decision? Include specific details in your response. Okay, it's about this structure is about explain something, and first point and second point, and give some details like examples and conclusion, just like that. Okay. I would like to write about a decision about where to travel and live this year. I decided to travel to Thailand and stay there for a few months. First reason is that the first reason the place is very convenient with many different kinds of public transportation like buses and subways. The second reason is that I can meet many interesting people from all over the world in Thailand. For example, there are lots of meetups and social gatherings for foreigners and local people, where people can meet new friends and share ideas. Okay, so in conclusion, I decided to have a trip to Thailand and stay here for a few months because I considered that it's a convenient place and it is very helpful for me to meet some new friends with other cultural backgrounds. Okay, that's it. Submit. Okay, last question. Talk about the memory that is particularly memorable for you because of its sight, smell, sound, taste, or touch. Why do you think this memory has stayed with you over the years? Include details from your life. A memory about sight, smell, sound, taste, Okay, just to choose a simple topic of parkour, okay? Okay, I'd like to talk about a memory that I visited a beach in my hometown many years ago. It's so memorable for me because actually it's very beautiful, and we can see I saw many fish in the sea, but I couldn't touch them because they just swam away very fast. But I still can remember the smell from the seawater. It's a little bit salty, but also fresh, right? You know, the air just by the sea is very fresh, and the sight was also, I think, amazing because the color of the sea was like deep blue, and the sound, I definitely heard the sound of the waves, especially when the wave just hit the rocks at the beach. And the taste, I just swam in the sea for a little bit, for several minutes, and the seawater tasted really salty and a little bit bitter. It didn't taste very good, to be honest. And touch, okay, so I still can remember I touched the sand at the beach. It's very soft and warm, so all the things make the whole experience very impressive and unforgettable. So that's why the memory stayed in my mind over the years. So if I had another opportunity, I think I would definitely visit the beach again, because all the sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch was so special and very meaningful. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Okay, in the real test, I think you should speak until the time end. Okay, just keep talking as much as possible. Okay, so let's submit and to check the final score. Oh, you see, it's 135 to 145. Actually, you remember our target was only 120, right? So I didn't use some harder words, and I even didn't answer some blanks. But the score is still very high because we just use a clear structure, right? And we keep the accuracy in reading and listening. We tried to write all the details about listening, right? Although it's not perfect and we made some mistake, but the score is still very high. Okay, so I think if you need more guidance, you can also check my website, jeenglish.com. You can do some free practice and find some guidance on the website, which can help you boost your score in the Duolingo English test. Okay, so if you find my video and tips helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and give thumbs up. See you next time.